Hafaday, I'm Hannah Devonzo. Last month, we reported on human remains found at a trash fire in Chalan Pago. But little is known, and questions still remained on who they belonged to or why they were there to begin with. We are here at a press conference at GPD's headquarters in Tizan, where we're hoping to get some of our questions answered. Stay tuned, as it should be starting shortly.
Sure you was a media? You guys are serious as shit. How's everyone doing? Doing great. Great. There's a lot of restamping and we talk about phones. We talk about phones. We tell our officers, you want to be a celebrity, just keep acting stupid out there. Am I lying?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I can send it to you right away.
Are you gonna be at the job fair tomorrow?
Should I be winner?
Oh, just asking.
No, that's family day. Yeah. They trash, dude. They get old.
Huh?
They said they get old and.
It's not the problem. It's not the problem. The problem is it's ridiculous.
Huh?
It's for everywhere I put it.
Oh, no, but I'm saying like when you use them a lot, you know, they develop like memory.
Yeah.
So it's just like they die all the time at the same time. So like I thought they were full.
Yeah.
It said full, cut it out, low battery.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. It's Friday. I can tell you now, it's Friday.
Viva bit. Our batteries.
Yeah.
Our weekend
Yeah, weekend mode.
Viva Fitness is drink.
Honestly, I love it.
I forgot. Daylight.
for being here. Good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Ignacio, your Chief of Police, and today we asked for a press conference to talk about the ongoing investigation of the found human remains or body located on Route 4 in Chalan Pago. So let me just go over briefly some of the details that we can release or talk about regarding this recent case. First off, on Saturday, January 29th, 2022, human remains were discovered after Guam Fire Department personnel responded to a reported fire at a GPA substation of Route 10 near the Song Market store in Chalan Pago. Detectives from Criminal Investigation Section were subsequently activated to the scene and assumed the investigation. The condition of the remains found are in a state making it extremely difficult to determine identity. We do know that the remains are of a male individual. The autopsy was conducted by the forensic pathologist, whereas the cause of death has been ruled as undetermined. However, the manner of death is classified as a homicide. The forensic pathologist further provided an age range of 18 to 40-year-old based on what was present of the remains. At the autopsy, 2 distinct tattoos were identified and photographed. A similar rendering of it was then drafted by Guam Police sketch artists. The first is strength, respect, loyalty, was in an inverted arch position on the upper front torso. The second was a separate tribal tattoo located on the rear upper torso of the remains. Other information, of course, cannot be released at this time as it may affect the outcome of any investigation that we're conducting. This is an actively open case. If anybody in the community has any information, please call the Guam Police Department dispatch at 475-8615, 8616, or 8617. You may also provide a tip via the Guam Crime Stoppers web at guamcrimestoppers.com. Okay. Unfortunately, the call line to the Crime Stoppers is down right now, and something that's being addressed by the Crime Stoppers and their board. For the community's sake, this is the rendering of the 2 tattoos that were found at the scene, or on the remains of the body. These will all be provided to the media for your dissemination to the community, and we thank you for that. That's the tribal tattoo. The next is this inverted tattoo. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the only 2 identifying marks which can help us identify the body. It has been 28 days since this human remains were found. We have looked through all our missing person cases. We have searched our local databases on any person who may have matching or similar tattoos. However, we have not been able to identify this body at this time. We are now seeking the help of the community to help us identify the victim. Without the identity of the victim, it makes the investigation difficult to move forward because we don't know the name of this person. We don't know where this person may have been, who may have been with. And, not to say that the investigation is stalled, but really the identification of the victim is important at this time. Okay? And I'd like to, if there's any questions at this time?
Chief, you had mentioned the condition of the body. Can you expound a bit more on that? We hear that sources close to the investigation say that might have been decapitated.
I will say this. The parts of the body that we found were not sufficient enough to help us in the identification. So as we go back in investigations and through our work with the media, that our basic identification consists of either facial recognition, dental identification, handprints, and maybe other scars, marks, or tattoos. But again, we've come to a point where we don't have those things available to us, which make it easier for us to identify the victim.
Chief, do they know, does the medical examiner know how long this person was deceased, how long it was there at the scene? Do they know?
We believe that the body, the location where we found the body is what we would refer to as a dump site, meaning the act of committing or killing this person was not done there. It was a dump site, and we believe that the body was fairly new. It was not in a state of decomposition to say that much. Shane?
Chief, at what point would you make the case go cold? Like, is there a certain point when you guys would?
We don't. This is a 28-day old case, so it's nowhere near cold. The investigators are actively pursuing any leads that we have. We have, also reached out to all of our federal counterparts. We have shared as much information that we have with them, and so we're also working with them to see if they have any information they can share with us. Hannah?
Are you looking for a suspect at this time?
We don't have any information yet to lead us to any suspects. And again, part of the difficulty that we're facing right now is we don't have identification. And so until we get an identification that'll lead us, to where the victim may have been, who he may have been with, and what he was up to at the time, that may have led to his death.
On the part of the remains that were found at the scene, can you say if the autopsy results showed any particular injuries, stab wounds?
It was the remains were only enough to tell us that it was clearly a homicide. Yeah, and we don't even know the cause of death yet. So okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me release these to you, and you can share them with our community. And we thank
so
you.
This is then an opportunity to ask the community for help.
Yes, absolutely, and that's why we're here today, Nick. Is we're appealing to the community. We're providing as much information as we can. The tattoos, which are very distinct. And, we're hoping that anybody who knows of this person, it's been 28 days. And, we live in a small community. And usually, in my experience, within 28 days, somebody would have come forward. So we're working with the community. We don't know if this person may have been recent to Guam, may just flown in recently, maybe came from a neighboring island. We have reached to our federal counterparts to check our neighboring islands as well to see if there's any missing persons that may fit this description. Yeah.
Aside from being unable, for your detectives being unable to identify the human remains, what else is holding them back from preventing them from completing closure of this case?
Again, it's hard to close a case when you don't know who your victim is and you don't know who his associates are. And like I said, his last known whereabouts.
Chief, you can imagine the fear that something like this instills in the rest of the community, not just with the Chalan Pago case, but with the unsolved case up in Jigo.
Yes, yeah, and both cases, Nick, are being actively investigated. In addition to that, our investigators are also busy with some of the robberies that have been going on. And to that end, I did form a new task force this week, is the Community Crimes Task Force. And they're working together with the Criminal Investigation Division. And next week, they'll be working on some of the things that really do affect our community as well. So we'll be working on that as well. We can talk about that later.
Okay, and finally, any other comments to the fact that we might have a killer out there on the loose?
Well, it is a homicide, so there is a killer in the loose, and this is how we work together and come together as a community to keep our community safe. We're looking for any information, any tips, anything that you think may be helpful. And even if you don't think it's helpful, but it might be something that, is important to you, that you may say, maybe the Guam Police needs to look into this. We'll look into it as well.
Have you thought about checking tattoo parlors?
Yeah, we'll be going to tattoo parlors as well. But again, like I said, trying to identify the information is really key. And so we like to get this out to the community as well. So I think coming together as a community is really a lot more helpful as well too. John?
No.
Okay.
And what is your GPD's message to the community? There seems like there's a rise in violent crimes lately, from all the magistrate complaints to the death investigations to the armed robberies. What's your message to the community?
The Guam Police Department, continues to recruit people so that we can continue to put more officers. The more officers we put out in the community, the more people will feel safe, and the safer the community is as well. So we're continuing to do recruitment. And, as you know, we talked about the job fair as well.
Will that be enough?
the more we put people on the community, Nick, I think the more people are going to see officers, the more safe they're going to feel. Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir.
Have you seen
Hi, Shane.
anything like this before, in your experience? Anything like this investigation?
Not to my experience. I think that the most recent one was, of course, the decapitation down in Santa Rita.
No other updates with the Jigo case?
None at this time. We just wanted to really just hone in on this case because the Jigo case, we do have an identity, and we are doing an investigation. Hannah?
Okay, and regarding the Community Crimes Task Force, who serves on that?
There's 5 police officers. We'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Johnny?